Hello everyone, my name is Siti Zubaidah and I would like to explain about company background of KAMDAR Group Malaysia Berhad. The company was started in 2002 and was reclassified from Him Brother Malaya Berhad to KAMDAR Group Malaysia Berhad on March 29, 2005. The location of the company at Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman, Kuala Lumpur. Textile, investment and management are two of the company segments. Textile segment involved in retailing textile and textile-based goods. Meanwhile, investment and management segment involved in asset management and investment holding. KAMDAR Senam Berhad, KAMDAR Store Senam Berhad, KAMDAR Store Senam Berhad, Pusat Membeli Belah KAMDAR Senam Berhad, and etc. are the list of the company's subsidiaries.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hakeem bin Uzer and I will proceed the presentation. So I will continue from management approach. So in management approach, we will see the three things, which is nature of the business, the existence of managers, and information presented of the board of director. So firstly, we will go through to the nature of the business. So nature of KAMDAR Group and Berhad business activities include textile and textile-based products, business of department store operator, general merchant and textile merchant, import and export of textile and fabric materials, and leasing of property. And the second one, which is the existence of managers responsible for the activities. So it is organized into operating segments based on their products and services. And the second one is the segment managers report directly to the chief of decision maker of the company. And the third one is information presented of the board of directors. Board members are given appropriate materials in advance of each board and board committee meetings, which is annual and quarterly financial statements, report on current trending on business issues from the managing director, proposal for capital allowance, proposal for acquisition and disposals not in the ordinary course of business, annual budget or business plan, risk management and status report, sustainability statement, corporate governance report and statement, report of the board committees. And we will go through the type of segments. So I conclude there is two types of segments, which is business segments and geographical segment. So business segments is engaged in providing products and services, such as KAMDAR Group and Senam Berhad. They provide textile, fabric, and properties. And the second one is geographical segment. It engaged in providing products and services within particular economic environment. So KAMDAR Group and Senam Berhad only provide their products and services within Malaysia, which is include Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia. And lastly, I will present about chief of decision making. So the chief of decision making in KAMDAR Group and Berhad, which is Chia Lin Hun. She is the CEO in the board of director of KAMDAR Group and Berhad. So she responsible to manage the group business and ensure that operational planning and control system are in place. The second one is accountable and responsible for the group's operation and financial performance. And third one is lead management and employees in express her killer leadership. And the fourth one is prepare and implement strategic plans. And the fifth one is submit and implement acquisition or investment proposals. And lastly, develop an organizational structure with the necessary succession planning.
Hi, I'm Hakeem Resdi. I will present about reproduce a segmental report. The first one, we will conduct a 10% threshold test. Based on the operating profit test that we will conduct, we calculate the percentage of operating profit or loss for all operating segment, which is textile, investment and management, R&D department, interrelated services and others. The percentage of the textile is 26.5%, investment and management is 60.18%, R&D department is 12.14%, interrelated services is 11.08%, while others is 2.35%. The total operating profit that we got is 793,519,000. In a summary, reportable segments are textile, investment and management, R&D departments and interrelated services, because the percentage of operating profit or loss is higher than 10%, while other non-reportable segment consists of operation, reloaded cafe and investment property holding, because the percentage of operating profit is lower than 10%. Next, we will conduct a 75% threshold test. Before that, we have to calculate the total revenue of all the operating segment. The total revenue of textile is 122,624,000. Investment and management is 8,030,000. R&D department is 94,809,000. Interrelated services is 12,425,000. Others is 740,000. While the total of the summation total revenue is 238,628,000. Okay, for the calculation of the percentage, we sum of all the external revenue of the all operating segment and divided by 197,317,000, and we got 99.98%. The combined external revenue of the reportable operating segment is 99.98%, which is more than 75%. Thus, there is no need to identify another operating segment that does not meet the 10% threshold test. Okay, next, the operating segment table. We got the revenue from external customer is 197,317,000. The segment asset is 979,588,000. While segment liabilities is 277,981,000.
For management purposes, the group and the company are organized into operating segments based on the type of the services. It regularly reviews the result of the segment in order to allocate the resources to the segment and to assess the segment performance. However, there are several advantages of segment reporting. Firstly, is to give more information to the external and internal user of the KAMDAR Group Malaysia Berhad about the performance of each segment, so they can make decision to the company. The segment reporting will inform the judgment of the enterprise as a whole because the data show the operational strategy of the business. Next advantage of segment reporting is to assessing the risk and return of the company, especially in the investment and credit decision. It enables users to better analyze the uncertainty surrounding the timing and amount of expected cash flow and risk related to an investment or a loan to operate the company. Furthermore, the segment reporting can be used for comparison purposes to compare with the entity or other competitors, or to compare the products based on year-to-year basis. In the meantime, there are some disadvantages of segment reporting. Firstly, it will become a competition issue. The required disclosure provides competitor with information which is useful to them. It also might be issue if the cost of disclosure falls unequally on competitors in the same market such as KAMDAR Group. Next is disclosure expenses to collect and generate the segment reporting of KAMDAR Group Malaysia Berhad is likely to be costly. The provision of additional information along with the routing information when occur operating cost of the company and its subsidiary is not only time-consuming but uses high management costs. Cost of gathering information can be extremely high and the return may be low. It will be difficult to collect certain costs to the business organization because they not only produce one product but also deal with more subsidiaries. They will become more complex problem if the segment reporting is reported with an arbitrary basis.
So here we go again. It's me. And for the interim report, I will explain the basis of preparation of the interim report. So KAMDAR Group and Berhad adopted basis of preparation of interim report, which is consolidated basis. So they prepare an interim report quarterly in order to provide investor with up-to-date information to satisfy the investors. And then KAMDAR Group and Berhad using two accounting policies used in preparing the interim report. So the first one is MFRS 16, which is lease, and MFRS 9, which is financial instruments. So in MFRS 16, which is lease, is effective for the annual financial period beginning on or after 1st January 2016. So their reporting period is 1st April 2019. And it is a single lease accounting for lessees on standard statement of financial position, right of use, underlying asset and lease liabilities, obligation to make lease payment. There is also an exemption, which is short-term leases on low-value items. And the right of use assets and lease liabilities disclosed as a single line in statement of financial position. So MFRS 16 retrospectively with no restatement of comparative and cumulative adjustment, retained earning and reserve as at 1st April 2019. So for the MFRS now, which is financial instrument, is actually a guidance in MFRS 139, financial instrument recognition and measurement, classification and measurement of financial assets and financial liabilities, and on account H accounting. It is amendment from MFRS 7, which is financial instrument disclosures on interest rate benchmark reform.
Okay, I will identify the type of interim report prepared by KAMDAR Group and Berhad. KAMDAR Group and Berhad applied MFRS 101, which is a company prepared a complete set of financial statement. MFRS 101 defines a complete set of financial statement as including the following component, which is a statement of financial position as at the end of the period, a statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the period, a statement of changes in equity for the period, a statement of cash flow for the period, notes on comprising a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information, comparative information in respect of the preceding period, and last one is a statement of financial position as at the beginning of the preceding period when an entity applies an accounting policy retrospectively. Okay, next I will identify the period for the current and comparative of each statement compared by the company. I will show in the tabular data. The current period for the statement of financial position is end of interim period 31st March 2020, while comparative period is end of preceding financial year 31st December 2019. For the current period for statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income is at interim period 1st January until 31st March 2020, while comparative period is comparable interim period 1st January 31st until 31st March 2019. The statement of cash flow and statement of changes in equity is same as the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Okay, thank you.
Two adjustments that can be made by KAMDAR Group Malaysian Berhad are to prepare its quarterly, interim, annual revenue and administrative expenses to accrue evenly during the period. The revenue and administrative expenses for the year ended 31st March 2020. The table shows the effect after adjustment. There are changes with the revenue and the administrative expenses. The current interim are for 3 months from 1 January 2020 until 31st March 2020, and the cumulative interim 12 months from 1st April 2019 until 31st March 2020. The comparative current interim are 3 months from 1st January 2019 until 31st March 2019, and the comparative year-to-date are for 12 months from 1 January 2018 until 31st March 2019. The table shows the effect before the adjustment.